welcome again to another edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm Jordan Meisner, and this week we'll have the opportunity to look back at LC's 32-24 win over Belhaven University last week, as well as look ahead to the Millsaps game coming up this week. We'll have Terrance Bratten come in the studio to talk about that Belhaven game, as well as show a few highlights. And finally, we'll have Bryar Barton, our soccer correspondent, come in to talk a little men's soccer and get our first look at LC's men's soccer team this season. But coming up next, we have some highlights from that Belhaven game just 2 weeks ago. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. Belhaven quarterback Jimmy Bassford back to pass, and he'll be sacked on the play by number 84, Grant Medine. Then Bryar Barton will get the ball and it'll go about 7 yards down to the Belhaven 9-yard line, setting up LC in the red zone. Then Jamie Bunning rolls out the pass. He's going to be hit on this play, and he fumbles, and that ball is going to be recovered by Belhaven, and that halts the LC drive. And LC with the ball later on, Bunning back to pass, and he'll complete it down the right-hand side to number 21, Dane Reeves. He picks up about 8 yards. Then Bunning again back to pass. He'll throw it out to the sideline to Demario Parker. Demario picks up about 8 yards, setting up LC at the 5-yard line. They'll go to Ryan Montague right here, and he'll scoot into the end zone, and LC takes a 6-0 lead in the first quarter. Very defensive second quarter. Daniel Hebert with a nice tackle here on Belhaven's Dan Bro Chapman, and Belhaven would lead 7-6 at the half. More LC defense in the third quarter as quarterback Jimmy Bassford will be sacked right here by Logan Bonnet, and then on the next play, he will be sacked by our very own Terrance Bratten as well as Jarrett Myatt. And then game-changing play right here at the end of the third, punter Will Frank back to punt, and he will be blocked right here. And this ball will be recovered out of bounds at the 14-yard line of LC by Belhaven, and they'll switch sides in the fourth quarter, and the field goal by James Bryan of Belhaven from 22 yards is good, and Belhaven takes a 10-6 lead. The Wildcats' first possession of the fourth quarter, we see Jamie Bunning drop back to pass and throw a beautiful deep ball to Demario Parker down the right sideline for 43 yards down to the Belhaven 15-yard line. And they hand off to Bryar Barton, and he'll go 7 yards for the LC touchdown, and LC takes a 13-10 lead in the fourth. That's when the momentum turns back to Belhaven as Jamie Bunning is sacked and for a loss of 4 yards, and he fumbles, and Belhaven recovers the ball at the 1-yard line. Ryan Rice recovers that ball, and then Justin Gaines will go for a 1-yard touchdown right here, and Belhaven takes a 17-13 lead. More misfortune for the Wildcats right here as Jamie Bunning drops back to pass, and he'll be intercepted by number 11, Ricky Wadlington, for Belhaven, and Wadlington will take it all the way back to give Belhaven a 24-13 lead. The Cats would answer on their next possession, however, as Jamie Bunning drops back to pass and throws it to Dane Reeves for 21 yards down to the 35-yard line. Then Bunning back to pass again, and he'll throw it deep to Demario Parker. Demario comes up with it and gets in the end zone for a 28-yard touchdown, 24-21 Belhaven. Under 2 minutes to go for the Cats, and Jamie Bunning throws back-to-back completions to number 21 Dane Reeves and then to number 85 Demario Parker, and that will set up the biggest play of the game for LC. As Parker is able to get out of bounds right here, and that sets up a field goal by freshman Aiden Oliveris, 38-yard field goal, and it is good, and that ties the game up 24-24. Last chance for the Blazers as Jimmy Bassford drops back to pass, and he'll throw up a Hail Mary, but it will be intercepted by Anthony Johnson of LC on the play, and we're going into overtime tied 24-24. LC defense steps up big in the first possession of overtime as Bassford back to pass. He's sacked on the play by Peter Ford, and the fumble is recovered by Nate Jansen. In third overtime period, Jamie Bunning back to pass, and he'll throw one deep to Justin Usay, and he catches it and goes into the end zone, and LC has a lead in the third period. And then they'll hand off to the end around to Sir Derek Tyson, and he'll waltz into the end zone, and LC takes a 32-24 lead. Final play of the game, Bassford will drop back and throw a pass to Freddie Jones out in the flats. He has nowhere to go, and he's tackled on the play by Taylor Catano, and the Wildcats walk away with a 32-24 victory. Continue with this week's football segment of Wildcat Weekly. We have in studio Terrance Bratten, LC sophomore defensive end, to talk a little bit about LC's 32-24 victory over Belhaven 2 weeks ago. And Terrance, we look at a couple of big storylines. Jamie Bunning's first start as an LC Wildcat. We look at how the defense played, and then we look at the running game, which appears to be a little bit improved from last year. But first, we'll look at the big storyline. Jamie Bunning, first start as an LC Wildcat, the redshirt junior, actually, from right here. He went to Ash High School, so he's a local guy, and he finally gets his chance to start after waiting a couple years under Ben McLaughlin. What are a few of the things that you saw under him 2 weeks ago against Belhaven?
Well, Jamie showed that he's meant to play this position, even though that we lost Ben McLaughlin. He was a senior last year. Jamie came into the game very poised. I'm pretty sure he silenced all of the skeptics that might have been out there about him. And he came out and played a great game regardless of the weather conditions.
Yeah, and I was going to say the weather conditions is terrible. Tropical Storm Lee comes through and raining before game time, maybe 2 hours before game time it starts, and then continues well after the game is over. Does that change the game plan at all for the offense, the way that they go about things, the way they attack a defense?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. You know, you go to the running game a little bit more with the weather conditions is rainy, the ball is slippery. So you give the ball to guys like Ryan Montague and Bryar Bartholomew, Cedric Tyson, guys like that, because we're very well loaded at the running back position, so those guys can produce and show their potential.
And that's really one thing that you look at compared to last year. It really seemed that last year was a passing-oriented offense, and after that, that was pretty much it. But this year, you really see guys like Ryan Montague, who was injured last year, and now he's making a comeback. Bryar Bartholomew, who got hurt at the end of last year as well. But you look at those two guys that could really carry the football. What kind of difference does that make for an offense, knowing that you can kind of lean on that running game?
That's hard to game plan for because it's not one guy that you could just zero in or key on because we have so much depth at the running back position. And whenever they're out there in full pass, they look almost identical. So sometimes you could kind of mix the two up. But they have a lot of potential and they produce each and every Sunday.
Now, Ryan Montague, of course, injured in fall practice last year, so didn't get a chance to show what he really had. What have you seen from him as far as his work ethic and what he brings to the table, what kind of attitude he brings to the running game for LC?
Ryan is a very special running back. I mean, his cutting ability is amazing. He's probably has the best cutting skills of all the running backs that we have. And he came back from a pretty severe injury very rapidly, and he had a great game Saturday.
Now, the biggest difference, I would say, when you look back from last year to this year, especially from that Belhaven game last year, was really just a shootout. You know, both teams just going back and forth, and whoever, had the ball last to see who was going to win. But this year we look at it, LC comes out really fired up on defense. Y'all give up a total, we look here at the stats, 200 yards a total offense, only 39 rushing yards the LC defense gives up. And, of course, this is your area of the football, so you know a little bit more about it. But really coming out, did y'all emphasize stopping the run any more this week or in this season?
Actually, we emphasized that their offense was pretty identical to ours, our own. They throw the ball a lot, but the weather conditions, they ran the ball quite a bit, and we were able to stuff the run, forcing them into third and long situations where our pass rushers were able to get on the field and create pressure on the quarterback, and pressure causes picks, and great coverage causes sacks. So it goes hand in hand with each other. And
y'all are also able to cause a few turnovers. Y'all recover 3 fumbles. Y'all get an interception. When you look at that, how big is it to cause a fumble, get an interception, and create turnovers to get the ball back to your offense like that?
I mean, that's major because whenever you can create turnovers, you get the ball back into an explosive offense that we have, and they're able to put more points on the board, putting our opponents in a deeper hole to come out of.
Now, when you look at the last year's defense compared to this year, the personnel is a little bit different. You have a new crop of defensive linemen, yourself, Grant Medine, Phil Ford coming in from linebacker, moves down to D-end. And, of course, you have a really good crop of linebackers with Nate Jansen, Taylor Catano, both of them all-conference type of performers. And then you see, Reggie Calhoun move to cornerback. So would you say that this team is a little bit more athletic this year on defense compared to last year?
Yes, sir. We're more versatile. We can move Reggie Calhoun to the cornerback position where he primarily is used anyway. And a guy like A.J. Johnson can replace him because he's as athletic as well. And we continue that playmaking ability on our defense.
Now, looking ahead to this week, y'all Millsaps, y'all be playing them. You didn't play them last year, unlike Belhaven, so you had a little bit better of idea how to game plan for Belhaven playing them last year. But Millsaps, you'll have them this week. What would you say it would be the key to stopping Millsaps defensively?
Millsaps is a running team. They're going to try the inside zone and outside zone, and they'll do a little bit of play action. So if we could stop the run and force them to pass, then that plays into the teeth of our defense. And this is a very disciplined football team, probably the most disciplined that we'll play the remainder of the year. So our job is to go out there and just create havoc on defense and show that our true potential is worth watching.
All right. Well, Terrance, we appreciate you joining us here in studio for this segment of Wildcat Weekly. We'll be right back with soccer correspondent Bryar Barton, who will give us a look at this year's LC men's soccer team.
Are you looking for the right college to attend? Well, look no further than Louisiana College. Since the establishment of Louisiana College in 1906, the school has stressed the value of faith and learning for students and constantly encourages students to want more in life. With a variety of different curriculums to choose from, Louisiana College offers degrees in areas that range from biology and history to biblical studies and education. LC also offers minors in certain fields and even gives students a chance to gain a master's degree in a field of their choosing. And let's not forget the student life on campus. With dorms and apartments for both men and women, Louisiana College has a student center for student activities and also offers health and fitness facilities such as HOS Gym and the James and Mary Baker Health and Wellness Center. Louisiana College also offers sports that range from softball and baseball to soccer and football for both men and women. There's simply never been a better time to come to Louisiana College.
And I'm joined here in studio for this segment of Wildcat Weekly with LC men's soccer insider Bryar Barton. Bryar, you gave us a look last week for the women's soccer team. This week you had a chance to go out and watch the men's soccer team. So a couple new faces out there. What are a few things that you saw?
Well, in talking with the men's soccer team, really the first thing I saw is the sense of accomplishment that they feel already for their one win on the season. You know, which is one more than they won last year. And they're just really they're feeling kind of good. They need to bounce back from the 2 consecutive losses that they've had already, but mostly just looking ahead, really optimistic, really.
Now, new head coach out there, how much of a difference do you think that will make?
Oh, I think that makes a tremendous difference. Excuse me. The amount of respect that they have for Coach Prince is just ridiculous because he's number one, he's kind of closer to their age, so they can kind of relate, and number two, he's a fantastic coach. He really is. He's a good motivator and a good disciplinarian.
Well, Bryar, of course, had a chance to go out and watch LC men's soccer practice a little bit this week, and here's what he had to offer.
LC men's soccer practice getting off to a running start as they try and bounce back from their less than perfect beginning.
So far, we're 1-2, and we have lost every game by 1 goal, whether it's overtime or early in the game. But we're in every game and we out-possessing every team. So it's very. I look forward to the future as we go into the conference.
One of the things that the team has stressed is leadership. No one knows this better than 5'9" junior center defender Peter McLean, who allowed a goal late to put Hendricks over the Wildcats 2-1 in overtime.
My frustration came from within myself. I should have pushed up on that last guy and didn't do so. And so he was able to tuck an easy one in. Even if it was a challenge, I would have been more pleased with it. But since it wasn't, I was definitely frustrated with myself.
But it's not all disappointment for these Wildcats as they won their season opener in dramatic fashion. That's one more than they won last year as the men's team went 0-17. Therefore, the only thing to do from here is look ahead.
Predictions for not only this next game, for the rest of the season, I only see wins. I only see wins because I want them. I only see wins because our team wants them. And I know that that's what LC would like as well.
And that's all the time we have here for this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'd like to thank Bryar again for joining us in studio this week, as well as Terrance Bratten, as well as the rest of our crew, and we'll see you next week.